Hello, residents of MeepleTown. This is Dean, and today I'm going to be doing a playthrough, kind of overview of Zombicide, the app, which is from Asmodee Digital. It's a CMON game. If you're familiar with Zombicide, the board game, you're going to be familiar with the app and how the gameplay plays, except it is different. It's not just a direct port from the board game, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. So I'm going to hit the play button. I've actually played through a couple of these scenarios. You start off, and it's just kind of a training scenario at the beginning, but you start off with Doug, and I'm just going to do the scenario I just finished. And then we picked up Amy and Wanda along the way. And I'm going to go ahead and start off with a little bit of a gripe, and that's that I cannot adjust the volume, the sound effects, or the main music volume through the app itself. And so whenever I recorded this, the sound effects were just deafening loud compared to my voice. And so I went ahead and turned both of those off. So I apologize for that, but I don't see any other way around it. So I'm going to hit start, and I'll just kind of tap through some of this. You can read that if you would like. But like I said, we picked up Amy and Wanda along the way. There's also another character, I think it was Josh, that you can pick up. If you have an account with Asmodee, you just log into that account and you can open up the Josh character. But if you notice in the first screen, I think it had the can of food and the number next to it. Gaining food is important in this game because you're going to use that to upgrade your characters, upgrade your weapons, and that's kind of the currency in this game is cans of food. And so in these scenarios that we've done so far, you're actually going and looking for these food stashes that help you to get a lot of food. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to Amy because she has a melee weapon. Doug has a let me switch back. Doug has a ranged weapon, and so if I shoot that ranged weapon in this space, it's possible I'll shoot and injure the friendly characters. So you have the dice that pop up, and it's pretty easy. This is where you're gonna pick which zombie you're going to hit, and just like in the game, so you're gonna take all of your actions. Whoops, I gotta hit this other one. You're gonna take your actions, and then it'll be the zombies' turns. You're just swiping to roll those dice. It's a pretty simple game, which if you played Zombicide, you know you're just kind of walking around shooting zombies. That's kind of the point of it. But they do add the story element to this. Doug's going to go up. I'm going to move up to this space, and remember, Doug has a ranged weapon, so he's going to just click on the weapon and pick which area you're going to shoot into, and that's a big hit. And Doug's going to take some shots at those guys, and I'm going to hopefully knock these last two out, clear those spaces. Ooh, missed them. But I will take Wanda. If you remember Wanda from the board game, she is the fast mover. She's on skates, so she can move more spaces than the other characters. And I'm just going to take Wanda's knife, and she's going to attack that last zombie and hopefully knock him out. And then I will move up here. I need to open up this door. And again, so the scenarios are actually pretty quick. They, I don't know, the ones I've played take about, maybe 10 minutes or something like that. Just kind of a little bite, a little taste, I guess, of the scenarios as you're playing through, which I think is good in an app form. If you're playing, Zombicide games can take hours, and if you're playing an app game that's going to take that long, you'll probably lose interest faster. So I kind of like how they set that up in this game. Doug's going to interact with the door, unlock those, and look in there for the boxes is what he's going to do. We're going to move Amy up here. And what I have to do is clear this house out. And once I do that, then that'll be the end of the scenario. If you look at the top of the screen, it says collect boxes inside. That changes throughout the game. It changes, your mission changes according to what it says at the top. So that kind of walks you through it. I like that. I think that's pretty cool. So I'm going to move in here and then interact, search in here. So not actually that wasn't a search. I'm actually just picking up the boxes. You can search inside of inside of these rooms, like in Zombicide, I think that all of that's preceded, that it's not just a random search. At least in this scenario that I've played. The current one I'm playing, this will be my third time playing it. The first two times, the search in the one room has been the same item, so we'll see if it's the same this time. Doug is actually not going to walk in there, but he's going to shoot in there, try to take that zombie out. And I hit him, so I'm going to go ahead and move all the way in here so that I'm ready to move through that house. And let's see, Amy's just going to go up here with, actually over here, so that I'm ready to take that box that's in that room. And then Wanda's going to pick up the food from that room, or pick up the boxes from that room. And just like in Zombicide, you can move up the danger level. So what that means is now that it opens a special ability, but then on top of that, it's going to spawn more dangerous zombies whenever they spawn. So Wanda's going to come over here and try to take this one out. So we'll use our weapon and slide to hopefully knock that one out. And zombies are going to take their turns. They're going to move, and then if you notice that spawn zone at that left side of the screen, they're going to spawn out of there every time. So they're starting to really pile up in the streets, and I'm going to need to be able to take those out. So Doug is going to search in this room and find something good, hopefully. And it is a knife. So actually, I was wrong. So the first two times I searched this room, it was a machete. This time's a knife. And so that's good to know. Good to know that it is a random search, at least maybe to some extent, and that it's not just the same thing every single time. So Doug picked that up. I'm going to go ahead and move Doug out into the street so he'll be ready to end the scenario, because all I need to do is collect this last box, and Amy's going to do that. All right, and then you notice that it says now at the top, take survivors to safety. And so what I have to do is move up to that green zone up there, which I'll do with Amy. And then once I get there, then I will complete this scenario. Wanda is fast, and so we'll be able to move up into there. And Doug will not, because Doug has already used up his actions. And so the zombies will take their turns. They're going to move over there. They're going to spawn in that zone. And you can actually, you see the button at the bottom. You can skip through that, so you don't have to sit through and watch it every time. But I'll move Doug up in there, and that's going to be a victory. And that's really just the gist of it. That's one of the scenarios. Again, I said the food you collect, you can use that to purchase upgrades in your weapon, upgrades in your character. I would imagine that as the game goes on, you're going to unlock more characters and gain, better weapons and all that good stuff. But that's it. If you're looking for a direct port of the board game, playing through those long scenarios, you're not going to get that here. And I think that's okay, because that's it could potentially be, boring if you have some of those long scenarios that you're playing out in the app. But it really is just kind of what you prefer. It is, it does give you the same feel. I will say this, and this is true probably with most apps. Part of the thing that I really like about Zombicide the board game is the interaction with the players, and talking through how those scenarios play, what you're going to do, you're strategizing together, and those big loud roaring moments when you take out an abomination or something like that. So you're not going to get that in the app, and again, I think that's kind of true to most apps. So I don't know how much to fault that. And as I play through these scenarios, that might give me a better feel for how I really feel about it. But so far, it's pretty good. So if this is something you're interested, check it out. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comments. We love feedback. And until next time, thanks for coming down to MeepleTown. Thanks for joining us, and be sure to follow us on Twitter at MeepleTown Games, and connect with us on the MeepleTown Guild number 3407 at BoardGameGeek.com, and also subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel. And until next time, thanks for coming down to MeepleTown.